This is another session of Heal the World. This is where we break barriers and build bridges. We had the 2 sessions that were amazing. We had great guests. That was Sharon and Eric. Now, today I've brought another guest. You've all been waiting for her. And I think I want to do a lot of introduction. Let her introduce herself. So, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Yudi, for having me. So my very beautiful name is Morevi Sika Wairimo, who's a student president. Thank you, Mare.
Yes, so much for his coming. The president of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology, the only women's university in East Africa that empowers women. And today you're going beyond the walls of a lot of things. You've been going beyond the walls of fear, pain, self-identity. And today you're going beyond the walls of depression and stress. You're going beyond the walls of suicide awareness and self-help. We're going beyond the walls of discipline. And I'm not going to do that alone. She's the one who is going to help me. And to kick off, we're going to start on our first question or our first conversation. You're a leader at SPWAST, and there are a lot of things that are happening in school. And as a leader, what are some of the things that you may feel that is so stressful or it feels like it's so overwhelming?
First of all, I need to highlight I'm not an expert in this. I'm just sharing my unsolicited knowledge from history experiences that I've come across. 12 students, I think suicide is one thing that is very progressive with them. We also deal with self-harm. Personally, for me, I'm overwhelmed with stress. So we're tackling stress, we're tackling suicide, and we're tackling self-harm. I think those are the issues that are there.
So you say you're tackling stress.
Yeah.
So how are you tackling this stress? Because it seems like it's a major problem to the students, to the all ages. So how do you tackle stress, as you say?
I think first need to categorize what type of stress there is, because there's productive stress. That's academic stress. It's really productive. It's not bad to be stressed about academics. It motivates you to do things better. But then there is the self-crippling stress. That's where we need to listen to someone and we need to at least highlight what is going on. And maybe you can provide solutions if they're comfortable with it. Because not everyone who is stressed needs solution. You just keep listening, yes.
Mm-hmm. You said productive stress and the other one?
Self-crippling stress.
Could you explain more further on especially the productive stress? Will it be only academic or there's other way that stress can be productive?
Let's say, for examples, I'm giving an example of a man. You've been party for most of your life and you're turning 30, you have no partner, people have already progressed in life. So I would get stressed that I'm far behind in life, and that way probably shift my focus to a poor type of way. I think that's productive stress.
And what about the other one?
Some picking stress is maybe things that are above what you can do. For example, I'm stressed about how I look. Okay, I can't change that, but if I don't love myself personally, that cannot. That can sometimes meet the pressure. So yeah.
So, to the Gen Zs, to the young people out there, what do you think may lead to them feeling the heaviest thing, like it will lead them to depression and stress?
Wow, okay, that's a very cheapy question. I'll answer it and maybe I'll finish school.
Yeah.
So if I finish school and the job market is not really promising right now, so many people, the unemployment rate is so high.
Yeah.
So if I'm unemployed for maybe a significant part of my life, maybe 5 years or 10 years, I'm become stressed as a past state. Again, progression, ill with social media law. So social media influences how we see life. So maybe I can see my peers are progressing so much in life and get stressed from the part that it's my friend is buying a car, my friend is married, my friend is owning a house, but I'm not. But I'm not at a different level there. Our life is like a bus. Big orchids of a different destination. So my destination, some else's destination are two different things. So for one, I think jobs are a major factor of stress Gen Zs. Social media is also a factor. That's the thing, perception and often how we see things also affects, because maybe a situation may happen and I've been having a bad day for the bad day, and I mean look at it as I'm just doomed. I'm not destined for anything good. That also leads to stress. My opinion.
In your opinion, yeah. Okay, now you said those are the things that bring us to stress and depression. Now, how can we tackle them now that, let's say, for example, we have found ourselves there, you find yourself admiring things, you're finding yourself like, you're trying to figure out yourself after school because the market is not are there to accommodate you because maybe the way you said it, the employment rate is a bit low. So how do we tackle that? Now that you're in the depression, or that take a stress?
First of all, I think you need help. It's not bad to ask for help or listening here. So sometimes venting out literally lessons abandoned. There's a saying that goes, a problem half shared is half solved. So we need to also find a listening ear, maybe someone who can use it, not probably provide solutions, but being listened to is something very key. We also need to understand that our lives are very different. So when you come to the understanding that I am not someone else, I am me, and my life progresses in a different way, you will also get the understanding that you don't need to be stressed about other people. Limit your time on social media is also a factor. You don't need to doom scroll. That also takes up our time, and whatever garbage out can taking most of the time really affects our perception. According to sociology, our sociological perceptions are also affected by what we take. So limit your time on social media.
Now, how does that change? That decision, how does it change? Now that you've stopped scrolling, now that you've decided to seek for help, how does that change?
I think seeking for help will give you a certain level of clarity. You will feel at ease that the past day, maybe you will get rid of the stress that will probably progress to it happen. Also, leaving aside social media and everything else really helps you to have a forward type of view. I will focus on my life. It's my life. I will progress in different ways. What are the ways I can progress in this stage I'm stuck in? We have a forward type pinky. PA.
It's always your opinion. That's my opinion. Okay, now that I've discussed all of this, which point does somebody feels that now I'm depressed, now I'm stressed? What is that point that somebody feels like that?
I think when you're lonely and moments of isolation really get to a person in different ways. You don't know what a person is going through. So if you're alone, it really progresses things, and our thinking tends to change because you don't have, I think you don't have someone whispering in your ear telling you, it's okay. So when you're alone, you feel like, this is the end. No one is listening to me. So moments like that really lead us to being depressed.
So is this stress or depression in our hand, our heart, or in our mind? Where is this stress and depression located?
I feel like when you're depressed, your whole body just loose. Because there's always tension in how I can't sit comfortably and probably be fidgety. My heart, for example, I'm in a very sleepy situation. I start getting panic attacks. That also affects my breathing. So my heart is also in a very stressed state. My thinking, I cannot also think clearly. How do I explain it? Maybe my judgment will be impaired. So it really affects a person wholly. So depression is something that shuts down my entire bit.
Or if it shuts down, let's say you get that panic attack, then you're during a conversation or when you are doing something, then you find yourself in that state, but you don't want to tell nobody to know, like you're so depressed or stressed, and in that process of finding yourself out of depression and stress, but now you're found yourself there. What do you do?
Someone's okay. I don't think you can regulate panic attacks. Maybe you can just excuse yourself from the vicinity because this is your body reacting to a very, very bad situation. Maybe you're in a situation where it's not conveniently. Your body reacts. It's like a survival instinct. Then let's say I see an iron here, start running. It's a survival instinct. So maybe the way you decided to handle your pressure is I start shivering. I can't breathe well. So it's being around that situation is what is bad. I'll just leave. FYI, maybe we're not comfortable sharing people. just excuse yourself, find yourself a safe place where you can collect your breath and collect your thoughts, and then kind of join a conversation if you're comfortable. If you're not, just leave.
Now, when you're depressed, you're stressed, you're lonely, and let's say you haven't seeked for any help, the event says you're taking on other thoughts, negative thoughts, which now we move to a topic called suicide. Now, what is your thought in suicide? How do you define suicide?
I'd say that's the end point where you feel like you have no meaning on this world, and maybe your existence would be better not in this world. So you decide to remake yourself in the fall. I think that's how it depends.
So what do you pick are the key causes of suicide?
Stress is one of them. Can think depression. I also think the environment around us really affects. So maybe the environment around me is violent. I try to remove myself anyway. So stress, depression, and the environment.
Only the three. Am I can add more? Wow, okay.
I think peers as well, and family also can be true. Suicide. I think our situations, and when maybe I'm in a situation where I can't change myself, I would choose suicide.
Believing suicide is the best
Solution. No. I'd give an example of, let's say you had a problem maybe in the year 2040. Is it still significant right now? No. As time passes by, those problems seem to create. So every day has its own issues. The priority of the problem right now and the gravity, it seems heavy, but with time it may be lesser. So it's not the best situation and not the best escape route, but you don't know what led to that.
But you see, they say that yes, he will kill, but scarcely may, But now when you tell me that it's in the past, but it's still in my head, it will still ring in my head. Do you think I want to commit suicide now that it's even people don't say, they'll be looking at you and say you did that thing, this happened to you. Or let's say, for example, you were raped and people knew about that and you're walking outside the world. Do you think that this person won't feel the suicide thoughts in the head? Now that you're saying that it's in the past.
Okay. That's a very, very tricky situation. I'd say no one wishes for it as the passing injury to the victims. Getting through rape is a very jarring process. You need to heal physically, mentally, and emotionally. So that's a choice for the party. Maybe the person had decaded prepared more past it. Maybe they never got the level of clarity they needed. So moving from that point may be really hard. Time, yes, may heal, but you never forget. And you just change your way of seeing things. Maybe at the other point it was very painful to think about it, but now you think of yourself as a survivor, not as a victim. You survived a very cruel ordeal where someone had their way with you and you did not die. Maybe they expected the worst for you, but expected. So it's not the best option to commit suicide. It's an hour for people, but I feel seeking to help me understand it.
Near your point, you said that it's the choice of the victim to decide. So you mean that if she decides that she's a survivor and she wants to commit suicide, it's okay. And what if she decides to kill herself? And here we are raising suicidal awareness. What's your thought on that?
So, we're not advocating the suicide cast of her, but I'm saying, not everyone has a support system. So maybe I was raped out here and no one knew. I hid it and I make my house. I'm going to myself group and talk. So that is where it comes down to, and it trickles down to, will I seek for help? Could I not seek for help? That comes down to the mental perception. We are advocating for not committing suicide, but at that moment, that choice in the person matters up to me. But I'm not advocate for you guys. Me too far. Is my point in this group.
He said that some of the victims that don't have support systems. Where do you think we can get the support system to cover every individual? And or what are these support systems taking over? Where can we find it? and how are we going to use them?
So, in Kiriri, we have a counselor. So, in case there is an issue like that, you can approach the counselors and pass there. Red Cross has a helpline. You can call that helpline in case you're going through depression or things like that. You can also report. I know it's not easy to report such a thing because they think it's the fault of the victim at first, but reporting leaders who might at least can be you get justice for that. That's also a support system because the government is supporting you in achieving justice. Maybe your friend and your family. Those are all the people who go miles and help you. Their support we should you through those dark vision. I feel like those are the pivotal people at that time.
Can you say that academic can also lead to suicide?
Yeah. No shade to people studying medicine and law, but sometimes the stress can be too much. Maybe even the school was studying basic courses, maybe you cannot reach certain targets. Maybe you're not academically apt, you're not academically okay, so you decide that there is no reason for trying. I think we have prioritized education in such a way that talent are not seen, and we do not understand someone who does not perform academically. We berate them instead of understanding why. Maybe that's not that thing. So academia can lead to suicidal thoughts.
Do you think our parents are more add more to these suicide thoughts to their children?
They do. Instead of like having a normal conversation, maybe having performed well in school, instead of understanding why and the reason that led to that, they're berating me. So I think maybe what's like you're a failure. I should not have given back to me, Kama. So I may feel there is no reason for me to eat here. Then decide to commit suicide. So they would contribute. Maybe I was raped, for example, and the immediate response is, "No, Membiana, don't tell anyone." You see, I will leave that trauma of I don't think I can have that support system. So if or the time me to hype or what was I reading, so of course is being berated instead of them understanding why what happened. So I made a set of decide to commit suicide. So our parents be heavily contribute to that because no the again sociology, because I'm currently learning sociology, we call it primary socialization, where they teach us in our early stages of life. So they are very pivotal in our early stages. Someone who's very pivotal will have an emotional connection to them. So how they react to certain things really affect us. Yeah, they do contribute to our suicide of birth.
And how can we support us? Yes, they are saying those words. They are leading you to these suicidal thoughts. And now, how can they support us so that they can feel like a safe place?
I feel like listening is one thing our parents will know us to be. You just let them maybe hear chan one. So less talking, more listening. Maybe I've been trying to put across that this course is not for me, but your baby is listening, and medicine is you're the one supposed to do medicine, and medicine is getting to my head. I'm not understanding anything. That's why I'm bringing in bad quotes. If you're not listening, and I can't put that going across to the and public commission. So at the end of the day, about them leaving, and that's panic upon syndrome with my point included. So I don't want to plan medicine. But when it's Saturday, in that way I can stop doing this course, do this boosting else. This course, maybe I want to do music. I'll do me. Maybe I was raped, but okay. If I was raped, we'll have that conversation up. I was coming from school. This man approached me. He did and forced himself on me. This man looks like Swentu who's been giving me some very weird eyes, but I never got anything of it. And he's like, okay, have you reported? Were you tested? Okay, we pull up with a court of law to see if you get any justice, and maybe we can enroll you in therapy. At least you share what went to you, what happened, and you can let go. See, that's a support system, and they actually leading you towards a safer route other than suicide.
Yeah. But there's somebody out there who already committed suicide, but by God's grace, he survived or she survived. Then later you find out that he or she's criticized is called somebody like anaonekana kama mtu sasa afai kwa society because now you committed suicide. you survive. Now, like a person like that, you need to come at home. How can he or she deal with that situation? Now that those were in the bed, they took power on him or her. She committed the suicide, but later on, she survived. And now you find the family, the friends, the very like, "Oye, kama ulibanga kujiua na hiyo unajiua tena." Is they all supporting, eh? And I think those thoughts can come back again. So how do you get towards a person like this?
Answer by saying, our parents. Maybe I'm relating my parents a lot. Our parents a lot, but it's not because they are appalled. It's because the way they were raised and the way we were raised is very different. So our parents don't know this emotional absolutely where our emotions matter. How I feel mentally is something I have to share with me. Yeah. So first of all, I tell a person to understand his me. If the parent you if the parents are not listening to them, we don't have to share. But removing yourself from a situation where you feel that same crippling doubt is the first thing. It's okay to take a break. Maybe your academics are stressing you out. But here for a while, it's not. Sometimes you have to give yourself that break. It's about how we did it finish. No, at the end of the day, it become a statistic. Or, so and so change themselves, the statistic of how many people are committing suicide per day, maybe 100 people. We've become a statistic, but we could have solved that thing. So first thing I'd say is give yourself a break. Remove yourself from a situation where those thoughts come. Get yourself a cancer that pre-cancer. Just talk. There's this tactic my friend told. When you're boarding a matatu and had a bad day, just go tell the person next to you and cry your eyebrow. It actually works. Sim tu unajua, so he'll probably forget. Yes, she'll probably forget, but you let go of that bad day. So I feel like sometimes support systems are not defined by your family, your friends, even someone working on their own support system. As long as you can let go of whatever is burdening me.
Inini. There's a yet when you're quite high. Now, I want you to summarize from depression to stress to social alert awareness. Maybe there's somebody who has joined our life right now, and somebody he has started watching us right now, so I just get it. So you can kindly summarize everything.
Started with mental health. I think mental health is a point of emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Talked about depression in stress and what leads to it. Depression, we talked about stress, we talked about academic stress, that's a productive stress, and self-crippling stress, that's stress that leads us to depression. We talked about channels saying you just need to let it go, maybe find a support system, people who can ESL it with. We talked about suicidal thoughts and suicide and awareness, and the fact that our parents don't really recognize emotions as much. So first of all, you need to get yourself a support system. Can start journaling maybe. Just any random personal issue that also works. Yeah.